In this video, we're going to be using a CSS library called Animate.css, which provides a variety of pre-built classes that we can use to animate elements on our page. As a demo, I'll be building out something that most of us are familiar with, a mobile notification. The end result will look like this. Okay, the notification pops down, and after a 3-second count, then it gets swiped away. Additionally, I'll be installing the Font Awesome library for some iconography. Both Animate.css and Font Awesome will be installed using NPM, so maybe there's a takeaway for you there as well. Then I'll import both of those libraries directly into our style sheet. So let's go ahead and get started. Here I have an open and empty folder in VS Code. The first thing I'm going to do is create my package.json so that we can add our dependencies to it. And I'll do that by opening the terminal. On a Windows machine, you can use Control and the tilde key, which is directly underneath the escape key, and then npm init-y. And that will open our, or create our package.json file. And you're going to see the dependencies, as soon as I start adding them, they're going to start to populate right into here. And the first dependency we're going to add is animate.css. And we'll do that by doing npm I is short for install, and then animate.css. And it's going to load all the packages. And as you can see here, it loads the dependencies right there. The next thing we'll add is support for Font Awesome, and we'll do that by doing npm I at Fort Awesome, not font, Fort Awesome, / Font Awesome. We're going to be using Font Awesome free. So then we'll hit enter, and those dependencies will now be installed, and you'll see that populate right here. If you're wondering what this at Fort Awesome is, it's an npm scoped package, and there's more to understanding that. I've left a link down in the description so that you can read a bit more about it. Now that our libraries are installed, okay, I am going to, okay, everything's installed in our package.json file. It's listing the appropriate dependencies. So now we'll need to come over here, and in the root of our files, in the root of our project, we'll create an index.html, and then in here, create a CSS folder, and in here, we'll create a styles.css. And in our HTML file, we're going to create some basic scaffolding in here, along with adding our style sheet. And with Emmet, we can add it like that. We'll do animate.css demo. And then directly under that, we'll add our style sheet, like that. And then in here, we'll just add just a simple H1 just to identify the name of the project. So animate.css demo. And okay, we'll save that, and I'm going to open it up over here using HTTP server -o for open, and it will open up like that. And then I want to see it in kind of a mobile view, so we're going to leave this looking like this, and then we'll jump into we'll close this actually, we don't need that open. And let's go into our style sheet here. And in our style sheet, we are going to import these libraries that we referenced in node modules here. So I have some predefined snippets in my VS Code already. So I'm going to add in the Roboto font, and now we're going to put a comment in here. We'll bring in font awesome, and we'll do that by adding the @import URL, and then we need to go outside of our main directory and into the node modules, then into font awesome free, go into the CSS and select the all, and actually we can do the all.min. Now we'll bring in our animate CSS, and we'll do that in the same fashion. Go into node modules, animate.css, and then animate.min.css. And let's terminate that line. And now let's save that. And I did create a text center. Oops. Save that. Let's go back over to this, and now we can go ahead and get started. So the first thing I like to do is, we don't need our package.json file open. Let's go ahead and add the HTML just so that we can, oops, apologize for that. Let's go ahead and add our HTML so that we can just get a general idea of what we're going to be styling. And I'll use Emmet for some of this. Notify container, and then within that we'll do notification, and let's get that set up. And then within the notification we've got a title bar, and within the title bar we'll have title bar left, and we'll have title bar right. Okay, and then within title bar left we're going to have an icon. Since we delivered font awesome, we can use, as you saw in the demo, we are using a YouTube notification. So FAB, FA, YouTube, square, and then underneath that, let's put the actual notification name. We'll do YouTube use this channel as an example. And then inside of title bar right, we're simply going to have an H5 with kind of a timestamp. You see these on some app notifications. Then we're going to go outside of the title bar. So if we follow the title bar, then we'll go outside of the title bar and we'll do our lower bar. Inside that, we'll do p tag, and let's do like, and then i.fas.fa thumbs up, and subscribe, i.fas.fa bell for more. Okay, and let's go ahead and save that. And let's jump back over here. And now you can see the text, the basic HTML structure is there. But now we're going to go ahead and style it. And then when we're done, we'll add classes specifically for Animate.css. So let's jump over into our style sheet here. And let's start out our style sheet with just some basic styles to give all of the ability to style everything up to us. So remove any predefined margins, paddings, and let's set styles onto the body. Put a darker background and font family with the one I brought in, and sorry about that. We'll use a fallback as sans serif. Okay, then we'll create some basic utility fonts, and I should have added these in before and I didn't, so let's go ahead and add these in now. Text yellow for the thumbs up, and text gray for the bell, and then the YouTube square will be text red. Font Awesome is in fact text, so you would treat it as text. Font size, color, things like that do apply to Font Awesome. So in here, I'll add to my utility fonts here. I do like to separate areas of my style sheet so that I know exactly where I am. Okay, let's do text red and set a color to red. Now, if I save this, come over here and refresh it, and you'll see some changes starting to take place here. Now I'll add text yellow and color yellow and text gray, and that will be kind of a light gray. Text center is already in there, and then I want to be able to change the size of the Font Awesome font here, but the next size up is double the size, so I've created my own size. Font Awesome uses FA2X to go the next size up. I went with FA1X, and since FA2X is 2 REM or 2 rem, I'm going to go with size that I'm comfortable with here of 1.5 rem. And then in here, we can add that to this. If I show you, I'll show you what 2x looks like. That's too big for this particular notification. That's too small. So I went with one that's kind of in between. Okay, and you'll see how that comes together when this starts to actually play out in the browser. All right, now we're going to go ahead and style our notification container, and that's pretty simple. We're just going to set some basic flex properties to that. So notify container display flex, justify content, we'll do center, and align items, we'll do center as well. Now if I save that and refresh it, you'll see items will start to realign here. Okay, underneath that, let's do the notification. And this will, once I style the notification, it will stand out a bit more over here. So styling that notification, let's set the background to All E's is kind of a light gray. And border radius set to 1 EM. When you want to display child items with flex properties, you need to make sure that the parent is set to flex. And within the notification, I'm going to have some items that will utilize some flex properties. So I need to make sure that the notification is set to flex. Flex direction, column, set a height of 100 pixels, margin of 0.5 EM, and a width of 95%. So it'll take up 95% of the width of the browser. And I'll go ahead and save that, and let's see where that puts us. Okay, now we've got a more decent background, and you can start making out the text items a little bit better. Okay, next thing is the title bar. Okay, that's the parent to title bar left, and the now is in title bar right. So let's set title bar. We have a height of 35 pixels, a background of BC, and we also want to set a border top and left, top right and top left border radiuses. So top right radius is 1 EM, and border top left radius will also be 1 EM. And display flex as well. So I'm going to save that. We'll refresh this. Okay, you see the title bar is now created. Things still look a little out of place because we haven't set the rest of the styles yet, but we're going to get to that now. So title bar left, and title bar left will have a width of 60%. Display flex, justify content will be space around, and align items will be center. And then let's add some padding, 5 pixels above and below, 10 pixels left and right. Okay, we'll save this, refresh it. Okay, you see it's starting to come together now. Now we'll take care of title bar right. Title bar right has a width of the difference between 60% and 100%, which is 40. Display flex, align items, center, and this timestamp, we want it to kind of float all the way to the end over here. I apologize for using the word float, but this is probably the best way to describe it. We're not going to use a float though. You can't use floats inside of Flex anyway. So for that, we'll use justify content, and we'll do flex end. And then we want to set some padding to that as well, same padding as we did above in title bar left. This way everything will look aligned. Okay, when I save that and we refresh it, and now you can see kind of where this is going. All right, now I want to set the font weight of that timestamp. So title bar right, and the H5 selector within that. We'll set the font weight. With font weights, if you jump up to the font we brought in, these are the weights that I have options to use: 100, 300, 400, 500, and 700. Okay, I'm going to use 300 for this. So 300. And I'll save that and refresh it, and you can see it kind of thins out a little. The timestamps on my notifications, that's pretty similar to how they look. Or I might say 8 minutes ago, or 8 minutes, or 1 day ago. And then in the lower bar, okay, where the like and subscribe for more is placed, we're going to create just an easy style of padding of 1 EM. Okay, we'll save that. And that's how that notification will now look. Okay, now we have the libraries already for Animate.css. All we need to do is add the classes. Okay, so for that, every Animate.css class has to begin with the word animate and then 2 underscores. So, and it also every animation you provide in that class has to be this initial class, animate double underscore animated. Okay, that has to be in all of them. So animate underscore animated, and then animate. Let's do bounce in down. Okay, we'll save that, and that's how that will now behave. And I'll refresh that again for you. Okay, now I also want it to kind of go slow. So let's do animate, go slow. We'll save that. Okay, looks kind of like that. You can also do fast, which speeds it up a little bit, kind of like that. I guess that's a personal preference. Okay, and then next thing we want to do is we want to be able to see the application dismiss, as I showed you in the demo. Okay, so for that, you'll go to the parent container. Okay, and there you'll add animate underscore double underscore animated. Okay, that has to be in everything you animate. And then animate bounce out left. Okay, and I refresh that, it's not going to show up because it's kind of already come down and it's out to the left. So what we have to do is we have to delay this parent animation here. We don't want this one to happen immediately. We want this one to happen immediately. This one, we want it to happen after a few seconds. Okay, and we do that by adding in another animate double underscore. We set a delay. Okay, and we have a list of, from animate.min, we have a list of different delays that we can use. So let's use 3 seconds. Okay, now when we come over here, okay, we see our animation, it counts to 3 and then it's gone. Okay, and then you can also set an additional, if you wanted to animate that fast, or like you saw there, you could go faster. Okay, it's entirely up to you. So we refresh that, okay, and then it's gone. All right, it's kind of how notifications appear sometimes if you swipe them away, or sometimes they go away on their own. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. As the notification says, please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.